I guess you could call today a vet vlog. We're doing quite a bit of things. So we are going to Shockwave, my old gelding. We'll kind of get into some of his issues later. And then we are going to do kind of our standard care fact-finding x-rays on our weanlings and yearlings. So first up is Mr. Bo. Look how much better he's walking. Like, way better. So you'll notice there's these like squishy cuffs, you can call them, on his back feet. And they're giving him an angle and they're raising up his heel on the back. So we found out last week, because all of a sudden he was just so lame. We found out that he not only tore his deep digital flexor tendon on his back left, but he also tore his suspensory. And so those ligaments and that soft tissue, I mean, both of those together can make it really difficult for healing. But we relieved some of that pressure on the deep digital flexor tendon by raising up his heel to give him some relief. We're also shockwaving. So let's go in here while he is shockwaved. All right, so this is what the cuff looks like off of his foot, right? So you can see how this is like a high heel for horses essentially. So where he was dropping his heel and causing a lot of pain and kept causing irritation to that tendon, it raises it up to relieve the pressure. Now this is also going to put a little more pressure on the suspensory, which he also has torn. So we've been wrapping him, we've been trying to do all we can, like by putting Surpass on it. He's been getting Shockwave. So what you're about to see is Shockwave, and it does a couple of things. It's going to give some immediate relief. It's going to cause like a little bit of numbing, not for super long, but it's also going to bring like healing to that area. So it's going to cause more circulation and blood flow to that pinpointed area to accelerate healing. So we did it once last week. We're doing it weekly to hopefully see some help with him. I feel like it's been a night and day difference from last week, because last week he was so bad that we were like what do we do? And he's on pain meds, you know, he's on an anti-inflammatory. So yeah, we're kind of just crossing all of our options. So we're also looking into doing Renovo, which is like stem cell therapy from taking stem cells from the, is it the placenta?
Yeah, the amniotic sac.
The amniotic sac. And so kind of same deal, when you put these stem cells into that pinpointed area, it's gonna hopefully accelerate healing. So right now we're having to balance him needing to move for the suspensory and him needing relieved pressure for the deep digital flexor tendon, and like I don't know, there's just like so many different things. So we haven't gotten him out of the woods yet. He's a 25-year-old gelding. He has Cushing's. Cushing's can cause you know, deterioration to that soft tissue. So we're battling a lot of different things, but we're hoping that this helps. And I don't know if we're gonna show it on this video, but I also bought a laser from Pegasus, and we're hoping that's like a light treatment, and that's kind of same deal, the same concept, causing those pinpointed cells to activate and to accelerate healing. So we're just kind of throwing all healing accelerants at that area. So Matthew, you're mic'd up today for the first time in a while. Can you give like the vet explanation to Shockwave real quick?
Shockwave is focal energy directed with this probe 25 millimeters beyond the tip of the probe. And so the deep flexor tendon is about this far in underneath the skin, and it focuses energy and inflammation right into that area. Tendons and ligaments are avascular, they don't have a lot of blood supply. So once you have an initial injury, you have a lot of inflammation and swelling, and the healing process is started, but then it arrests after 3 or 4 weeks because there is no blood supply there. So what this does is kind of kickstart the healing process and keep it going when otherwise it would be really, really slow or totally inactive. Also, it has that numbing effect, so it makes them feel better for a period of time. So you have 8 different energy levels. You have that's the amount of shocks that's going on in 1 minute. So 360 shocks in a minute.
So he's not only doing his deep flexor tendon, but also the suspensory.
What is the stuff you're putting on it?
It's gel.
To help that.
It's like is that the same as ultrasound gel?
Very similar, yeah. It transmits the wave to the skin, otherwise it doesn't do much. The energy kind of dies in between that gap. Okay.
Good boy. Is the numbing, do you think he's already feeling numbing effects, or do you think it takes some time?
Yeah, so when you're doing them, when they're really sensitive, they'll dance around for about 100 shocks, and then they'll start to settle. So usually it takes about 100 to 150 shocks before they get.
So the effects are pretty immediate.
Now, numbing will only last would you say, a day or two?
72 hours.
Okay.
That'll give us a good idea what's going on.
But then on the, I think we're just do hocks, ankles, stifles. Do you think we should do knees at this age?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not.
Now, the yearlings, I want to do their knees.
Okay.
But the other ones, I think, let's just look for any
Kind of survey films?
Yeah.
Do you want feet and naviculars on the weanlings?
What do you think? I've seen zero lameness.
I would at least do a side to side to make sure
Okay.
one of them's not getting clubby or something.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
She looks good. You know, she's gonna have a problem. We're gonna pick it up right here on these X-rays.
Okay.
All right, right footlock. Rotate
All right.
90 degrees so this is on the ground.
So this is how it's taken.
Put a
And then it pops up on the screen over here. Seen anything stand out yet?
no, I'm gonna look through them here in just a second.
They take them back and look at them at the clinic as well. They can see anything glaring here on this laptop, but then they'll take them back and put them on the big screen and really be able to look deep when they're at the clinic. And so there has been times that they've called me and been like, hey, we found something when we got back to the clinic, but they can see most things here. So while they're sedated, we're also going to vaccinate them for the year with just all of our standard vaccinations. I'll get him to tell which ones he does, like strangles and West Nile and all kinds of things. So he just looked over, said he didn't really see anything from Millie, but we are going to string test her. So string testing, they're a little young for it to be super accurate, but I have found that when I go measure my adult horses, it proves to be true. So when you measure from the middle of their knee to their coronet band, based on how many inches that is, that's like a prediction of their height. Usually you want to wait till they're yearlings, so we might do it to the yearlings today too. But let's say it's 15 inches on that measurement. That means that horse is predicted to be 15 hands tall. Now a hand is 4 inches, so breaking that inch up into quarters, if that was 15¼ inches, then it would be 15 hands tall as the prediction. I've seen it be pretty true, but let me know if you have another method. So I go with where the dent is in their knee, where that's open, and then I feed it down softly, and look there, right at about 16 inches on the dot. So to me, that means she string tests to be 16 hands. She's a big girl. I told y'all, I don't know if she's gonna do the Western Pleasure or the Hunter Under Saddle. I think she could probably do both easily. So love that for us.
So we have a 6-way shot. This vaccine is Eastern encephalitis, Western encephalitis, tetanus. So that's 3. Rhino, flu. So influenza or rhino is a herpes virus. And then West Nile, so that's 6.
Gotcha.
This one's rabies.
Gotcha.
This one's botulism.
Okay. And then at her age, does she get strangles?
And strangles is right there.
That's my favorite one.
When they go up the nose, and then
Hey, he's fast too.
they gotta be.
Gracie 2025.
Dormtorb. This one's a little more exciting.
He's just a little spirited little llama. You can't tell me he doesn't look like a llama right now. He'll be cute in about 2 years. Just give it time.
Yeah.
This is like it's like he's in 7th grade right now, you know?
Okay.
No, it's like he's in 4th or 5th grade right now. And about in February, he'll be like a 7th grader.
Dirty feet. What are the blocks for?
So we can take the plate below the level of the foot.
Ah.
So we get the bottom of the foot.
I think he's going to be about the same size as his sister. So 15.3. So he's a 1/4 inch shorter in this measurement than Millie. So because it's 15 3/4 inches, that predicts that he's going to be 15.3 hands. And that's a really good size. Like for my big horses, that's the size of like Kennedy and an inch shorter than Earlene. So it's a big horse. So I'm just going to predict that he's going to be a little bit smaller than his siblings. I think his sire is VS Code Red, so he's 16 hands, and his dam, I met her in person. She didn't seem super small, but I don't know her exact height. I would say she was 15.1 hands, maybe 15.2 hands. So let me see, get to the middle where there's like this little dent, and then do the soft tape down. Well,
Wow.
I'm just wrong, I guess. Maybe it's because it's black. I don't know. And so it just doesn't look as long. 16 hands. I'd take it. That's pretty cool to me. Love that for me.
That's awesome.
Hold tight right there, Marco. Now we got to do a little investigating of that.
Great.
So, it's on that medial side.
So what is it classified as?
Could be a little avulsion from the oblique sesamoidean, which she did when she was out playing. Could be incomplete ossification. It could be a bang. She banged it. I'm not sure. It's an unusual
So it's
spot.
trauma, probably?
Probably trauma. It's an unusual spot for a developmental anomaly.
Okay.
So, and is it not articular? So this
She's
is probably healed
one
back.
that's never had a single lame step in the front, ever.
And my guess is this is all healed back.
Okay.
And with some cartilaginous and fibrous union, it won't be a problem.
So I was about to say, so with that being most likely trauma induced and having this little spot, what problems could that cause in the future?
Well, it could be a sequestrum as she starts working and that ligament starts pulling this away from the bone. It becomes irritated and sensitive and she gets a little lame. It could form a little sequestrum and try to reabsorb and start having a little bit of discharge and drainage.
Okay.
But most likely, if it's going to cause a problem, most likely it's going to be because it's getting a little inflamed from when she starts working.
Okay.
It starts pulling away, and that.
Is that something that can be cleaned up surgically?
I'll let the surgeon look at it.
Okay.
I don't think they usually like to go in and clean these up if it's not articular.
Okay.
And it's too small a piece to put like a screw through it.
Is that something a laser could help?
At this time, I wouldn't do it. I would do it when you start working. Pay
Okay.
attention to that. That's the benefit of having these x-rays is to pay attention to that ankle. And if it gets a little swollen, a little sore, a little hot, then yeah, for sure laser.
Okay. So this is one of those things where this is why we did it. So the first 3 had like nothing going on, right? So Kirby has a little spot that is most likely, or like pretty much is, from trauma. So we've never seen her have a lame step, literally ever, but playing out in the field, banging on something, getting kicked, whatever it is. So that's something to watch because it could be inflamed in the future. It's in that like ankle on her front end. So that's why we do these fact-finding x-rays, so that when she does get to working in the next couple of years, when she does start having more stress on her body as she becomes a riding horse, we know that going into it. Now, right now, there's not really anything to do because it's not at a stage where they would want to like surgically clean it up or anything. It's not that serious, but knowing that ahead of time just gives us that much more knowledge on how to care for her, have her be the most sound riding horse she can be. So if that makes sense. Her sire is machine made, who's about 15 one hands, and her dam is Kennedy, who is 15 three hands. So she is actually a niece to the other three babies. Let's see if she's a little bit smaller. I predict she's gonna be a little bit smaller. I think she's probably gonna be like 15'2". Let's see here. Oh, 15 hands on the dot. She's gonna be a little smaller. It says 15 hands. Now, I feel like that could change maybe once we look at her again as a yearling, but that shows a big difference. She's gonna be a little bit smaller statured like her sister, Molly. They're a little bit chunkier and shorter. So she's probably gonna be more geared towards Western events, being a little bit on the smaller side. So it would seem like that one little spot on Kirby's back right is the only thing we have seen. Everything else looked clear. Now they will take it back to the vet clinic and just look at it on a bigger screen, go in more depth, but right now nothing glaringly obvious was seen. Next, we are doing our yearlings. We do x-rays on our yearlings at the end of the year so that when they go to training or start doing a little bit heavier work in the next few months, again, we just kind of have like a fact-finding mission and see if there's anything that we need to take note of.
Nice.
Versus Molly.
Big maul.
Mm-hmm.
None of these had stifled issues, right?
I don't think so.
You want to just do 2 views of the stifle this time?
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of.
Yeah, nobody had any OCDs or anything.
Okay.
Speaking of OCDs, can you explain what an OCD is? Because that's like my biggest fear in life when we are doing these x-rays.
A lot of people have that, Katie.
No, it's different than people OCD.
Oh.
So OCD is an acronym for osteochondrosis dissecans.
Mm-hmm. You're like, you're putting me on the spot right now.
OCD, and that may not be right, but it's close. But what it is like in the areas of the horse that have really dense bone and
Mm-hmm.
really dense cartilage, as those bones are developing, they may not completely develop. So you have a little hole there, and the hole is a cyst. And the cyst has a lining that has inflammatory cells all around it. And sometimes they're really big, sometimes they're really tiny, but they communicate with the joint and it causes inflammation in that joint.
Yeah.
And the cartilage, what we see on the x-rays is bone. You can't see cartilage on the x-ray. So you have like in the stifle, for instance, you have like a really dense circular area of bone, and then covering it is cartilage. Okay, so we see the bone, we don't see the cartilage.
Who is that? Oh my, I'm sorry. He's just being terrible.
So what happens is you have the little cysts in the bone, it can poke through the cartilage, and the cartilage may be flapping, and then you have these cells in the middle of that cyst that's creating inflammation.
Got it.
And it causes pain and causes the joint to be swollen.
And I mean, from what I've gathered, hearing other breeders talk about it, like that is something that can absolutely ruin a foal's chances at performing, or there are surgical options that sometimes are really helpful and they can go on and be sound horses, later. But I guess do you think it's caused significantly more by trauma or genetics, or?
So you can have an OCD is considered to be like a developmental problem. So when they're developing in the uterus, it can be created, or they can be created from a little bit of trauma as they're growing, when they're yearlings and weanlings and foals.
Yeah.
So if you catch it early, the more inflammation you have in the joint for a longer amount of time, the more arthritis you have.
Gotcha.
So the earlier you catch it, you eliminate the inflammation, and you can help stop the arthritic process.
Gotcha.
So that's that's what we're doing here.
And I mean, that's the big reason we do them as weanlings, because that's one thing we look for. Because I mean, basically, if they make it through that like 7, 8, 9 month range, they're probably quote unquote pretty safe from
unless
OCDs.
you have like a traumatic injury.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit a different process.
Yeah.
But we're mainly looking for the developmental problems.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick up on stuff they do to themselves when they're babies.
Right.
Like that last horse.
Right.
Kirby.
Ooh, sleepy girl. You got to get on the blocks. She was not being helpful there for a second. Look how different the yearlings look compared to the weanlings that we just looked at. I mean, they're starting to look like horses, not just little fat llamas.
What's wrong with a fat llama?
If you tell me Knox doesn't look like a fat llama donkey. So essentially, like, we didn't do the knees on the weanlings because it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, they're not usually going to have a whole lot of trauma to that area, and we haven't had any lameness, so there wasn't any need for us to. But on our 2-year-olds, or our coming 2-year-olds, I should say, they are about to enter a different phase of life. They're going to have, be working, be under saddle within the next few months, even though we do it very lightly. So we want to make sure those knees are closed before we ever do any of that. So on the coming 2-year-olds, we're doing their knees specifically to see if they have closed.
This is the growth plate. So when you talk about a growth plate or a physis, that's one and the same.
Okay.
So you can see a black line there.
Yeah.
It's still open.
Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure the last time we string tested Molly when she was a weanling, it said that she was going to be like 50. I'm sorry, I choked on a chicken tender earlier. I think like 15 hands, 15 one hands, something like that. So let's see if there's any change. We're going to go from the middle of her knee all the way down. 15 hands on the dot. So she and Kirby, which is her little sister, they have the same sire, they have the same height. So awesome. I think she's right on track to be that height too. So it seems to be pretty accurate so far. Are hers like super open?
Similar, not any more than that.
So we were kind of rechecking the yearlings, their string test, because we did the same thing with them last year when they were sedated. So they were weanlings, not yearlings. And I haven't really seen any difference in the yearlings this year. So Molly string tested to 15 hands, Daphne string tested to 16.2. The one I'm curious for is Wally. We'll see. Don't pay attention to the blood on the floor. Wally cut himself again. It just is what it is. But while he's a little sleepy, I'm gonna go ahead and go from the middle of his knee down here. Let's see what we string test to. Is it still scary? 17.2.
Whoa.
17.5 inches, 17.2. Now here's the thing though, he's staying intact. And sometimes the presence of all that testosterone can actually put all their like growth energy towards muscle instead of going up. Isn't it like castrating them makes their growth plate stay open longer? He's not listening to me. Anyway, something like that. But big boy, Walter. Add 2 inches to Sophie.
6 feet tall, 70 inches.
Like Sophie's back is literally here.
Yeah.
So his back is going to be right here.
And that's about how tall I am.
Like that. Wally's back's going to be up here.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
So that's why we're taking it easy on little boy. He just has to grow up first. Okay, so x-rays are done. All looked good. Let me know if you have any questions for things that we look for, kind of like this protocol. We'll keep you updated on Bo as well. We'll continue to do some more treatments with him. He is looking much, much better. But as for that, we are done. And then, I mean, honestly, the next yearling update will be here in a few months when they are kind of starting their big kid jobs. So stay tuned for all of that. And I guess just let me know if you have any questions.